Hello, and welcome to Shedding the Bitch Radio, where you can discuss, debate, and get advice on how to discover and shed the bitches of fear, insecurity, self-doubt, and negative mindsets so you can realize your dreams and life purpose and create and accelerate the riches you want in life. Join us here live every Tuesday at noon Eastern and dialogue with us at 818-572-2910. You can also chat with us at Blog Talk Radio /SheddingTheBitch or share your stories on our website at sheddingthebitch.com. Whatever the bitch is that's holding you back from living your life to the fullest, it's not worth giving up the riches in life that you deserve. So call in now and let Bernadette Boas know what's holding you back. 818-572-2910.
Happy New Year, everyone. How are you? I am so excited. It is 2021. It is a opportunity for all of us to just take a deep breath and just bring on this new year with tremendous force, power, excitement, and basically anything and everything that you want to put into pursuing and achieving your goals. And that's what Shedding the Bitch and everything that we do within the Ball of Fire coaching community is to really help you to not only achieve your goals, but to exceed them. And my passion, purpose, and my goal for this year is to help as many of you as I can, and that I'd be honored to support, to really not only achieve your goals, but to exceed them. So I'm so happy that you're here within the Shedding the Bitch radio community, our YouTube community, and overall our social network community. We bring you each week topics that really hit the corporate or entrepreneurial professional woman, whether it be at work or at home. And we bring you conversations, we bring you guests, expert guests, and we bring you the tips, advice, and sometimes tough love that you need in order to really move forward in creating all of the riches in life that you deserve. I want to thank our ongoing listeners, our own ongoing viewers, because we are broadcasting live right now on our Shedding the Bitch Facebook page. We also will then share that out into our YouTube community on our Shedding the Bitch TV YouTube channel, as well as we are broadcasting via Blog Talk Radio, Apple iTunes, and anywhere that you might stream your podcast. So our current ongoing viewership and listenership, you guys are wonderful in getting out the word and making our program as visible to as many ears and eyes as possible, so we can continue to build on the objective that we have to help all of you to create riches in your work and life. And then, of course, our new viewers and listeners, thank you for stopping in. Stay a while, make yourself at home, and come back every Tuesday at noon Eastern time for our live or pre-recorded sessions. But you can also go out into our blogtalkradio.com, iTunes, any of the streaming services, as well as YouTube, to view or listen to any of our episodes that we've had over the years, as well as don't forget to go to balloffirecoaching.com. You'll also find our radio channel there where you can access all of our episodes. And I would ask for you, new listeners, ongoing listeners and viewers, please rate us, give us feedback, give us comments, like, subscribe, follow, all across our various platforms. It's the perfect way to ensure that we can expand our message, all right? And I want to thank you as we get into this new 2021, because I have some big goals this year in order to help and serve all of you. So let me know. You can even email me directly at Bernadette Boas at balloffireinc.com with any comments, with any suggestions, with any recommendations or referrals to guest speakers, topics you'd like us to cover, anything that you'd like to share. My team and I are here to kind of take that all in. But you can send them to me directly, and that way I can reach back out to you personally and thank you, and then provide you whatever support and help that I can. All right? I will, as many of you who are you do take part on a regular basis, I'll keep an eye out on our Facebook page because we are broadcasting live, as I mentioned, in case you have any comments or notes there, as well as into our Blog Talk Radio chat room. So if you were to go to blogtalkradio.com/Shedding the Bitch Radio, you can scroll down to this particular episode, scroll down, and you'll see a chat room. And so we're keeping an eye on that as well. All right. Let's see. So today is our Ask Me Anything episode. Now, what we do there, for those of you that are new to the community, is the first Tuesday of every month is our Ask Me Anything episode. And basically all month long, you're sharing your questions, stories, or challenges right into our Shedding the Bitch Facebook page. You're sending me DMs. Most of you, the majority of you, reach out to me via LinkedIn. And then you can also go to any of our blogs on our qualifiercoaching.com website. And you're giving me those questions, stories, and challenges, and I'm responding to you immediately. So you have those tips and strategies to move forward. At the same time, I gather them all up and bring them right here into the first Tuesday's episode in order for other people to hear and learn in regards to what you might be dealing with, because so many others are probably dealing with the same thing. So we want to ensure that we're providing as much collaboration and support to our network as possible. And so if you at any time want to even join in, like right now, you could join in on Shedding the Bitch, watching us live. You can start chatting me, any kind of comments or questions that you might have. At the same time, you can even call in when we are live, 1-818-572-2910, and we are today. So be sure to, if you want to talk to me directly, you can reach out to me right there at 1-818-572-2910. All right? Now, the questions that we're going to be covering today kind of very personal and business. So in no particular order, because oftentimes I sit there and go, you know what, there might be something better to address immediately, and then work our way in. So the first question that was sent in was all around, how do I just let go of 2020? So a lot of people out there are including myself, are talking about, what do I do to just kind of put 2020 behind me so I can move forward? So we want to talk about that. We want to talk about how to build a tribe or a network. In this case, it was considered a tribe for this individual. It could be a network, a community, a support group. You might even be wanting to establish a board of directors, board of advisors in your own business. So we'll talk about how to go about doing that. I was then asked kind of what are the keys to my success this year? Like, what do I really need to be focusing on? So we're just going to give you 4 things to really focus on this year that will ensure that you are successful in pursuing and achieving your goals. And then I want to also share some information with you in regards to our Ignite Thursday live training that we're going to be doing. I am often asked about how to be really effective in an interview, especially if it's on camera. And I know many of you who may or may not do interviews, being on camera makes people uncomfortable at times. And so I'm often asked, so how can I just get over that, and how can I be an effective interviewee, especially if it is on camera? So we're actually going to have a full training session on that on Thursday. It's going to be in our private group, Shift to Riches, on Facebook. So you're going to need to join the Shift to Riches private group on Facebook. And then the training will take place live at 1 o'clock on Thursday. All right? Okay, so let's get into these. And I think, obviously, thing to definitely we want to talk about is how do I just let go of 2020? Now, again, this is going to be where I really want to pay attention to, any comments that you might have, any any story you might want to share. So bear with me. I'm without Deborah today. Bear with me as I kind of try to go back and forth just to make sure that we are getting anything that you guys might be posting out there, okay? All right, so just letting go. Not as easy as people, including myself, make it seem. But it does come down to one thing. It comes down to choice. You have a choice to kind of consider and look at all of the emotions and the feelings and the thoughts and the words and the actions that, it affected you, whether minor or major, all of last year. Even not all of last year, but especially what were you carrying into December, then what were you carrying into the holidays, and then what were you carrying into the new year. And if it is anything like negativity or fear, insecurity or anxiety or stress or depression that you are, carrying in and you're still living with it, then the first and the biggest way to deal with it is just choose to shift away from it. Now, again, that sounds easy. Okay, Bernadette, I choose not to be depressed. I choose not to be anxious. I choose not to be fearful. And yet, at the same time, there's still havoc, being wreaked around me. And therefore, what can I effectively do in order to kind of let go? Well, first, I'm going to go back to your choice, because oftentimes we choose to do something, and yet we're not necessarily committed or bought in or believe that by just choosing, you can kind of shift or create whatever it is that you want. So it's really important that you just don't say, oh, yeah, I choose to let all that crap go. You have to just sit with it and really ensure that you're willing to do the work that's necessary in order for you to actually let go. So you have to make that commitment that, yes, as hard as it is, as painful as it is, as sad as it is, or depressing as it is, or frustrating as it is, I am committing to choose to let go. And therefore, I'm going to be successful in doing that. Now, there are situations for people that all of a sudden they make a commitment, they make a choice, and it's like flipping a switch, and they're moving forward and leaving everything that they want to leave behind. Majority of us, it takes practice. It takes purposeful, intentional, conscious, self-aware, I want to say self-awareness, in order for you to actually, recognize, because it all comes down to you being self-aware and recognizing when you're going into a state of negativity or fear or anxiety or stress or depression. Then you find those things that work for you to kind of shift you out of that mindset. I talk often about my morning routine that, when I wake up, maybe the alarm went off, maybe I woke up on my own. I don't jump out of bed. I lay there and I assess myself from my toes to my head, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, everything. And whatever is not feeling right or whatever is feeling, kind of angst or uncomfortable or stressed or just kind of vacant, then I do what I need to do, whether that's pray, whether that's, meditate further, whether that is to, all of a sudden grab my daily devotional book or another book that I might be reading, whatever it is. I then work while I'm still there in bed. I work to kind of shift myself into a state of which I want to get out and be as positive, optimistic, productive, effective as possible, doing whatever I'm going to be doing, whether that's, playing pickleball or that's, working on my business. So the choice and then the commitment you make is to then just pay attention to as you feel yourself going into those states of agitation or anxiety, depression, whatever it might be, then just pause and kind of reflect on what it is you're feeling. I don't want you to dismiss it. I don't want you to just, so that's why I say letting go is not as, just as easy as it sounds. You don't want to dismiss it. You want to kind of consider it. Like, what's driving this anxiety? What's driving this fear? What's driving this depression or this sadness? And if you have to, because I'm a big journaler, as many of you know, write it out. And because every one of your challenges or your issues or your problems, there's a solution to it. And just as I always talk about the fact that fear is that acronym that actually means false evidence appearing real, then you'll realize that what you might be anxious about or troubled about is not as, kind of life-altering or detrimental as you're, building up within your head, between your two ears. And so, it's really just about being very, conscious, aware, and just intentional about really recognizing where it's stemming from, where it's coming from, and then working the solutions to solving whatever is creating that angst or that challenge for you. Now, in a year, and maybe still carrying on, where if you're out of work or you're unable to pay your mortgage, again, I might sound very flippant that I can, you can easily solve that problem. All right. But this is what I want you to consider. You can't solve the problem productively and effectively if you're all consumed with anxiety and fear and doubt and uncertainty. Never going to provide you the clarity that you need. That clarity is going to give you that focus and that energy to sit down and, kind of lay out what the problems are that you might be having and the solutions that you need. So, for instance, let me, paint a picture for you. Because a friend of mine was over the other night and we were talking extensively. And so say you're in a situation where you haven't paid your rent or your mortgage for many months. And maybe you weren't able to even get, the forbearance or any of the other programs that they've been offering through this past year. And so you're at a point where you could lose your house or be evicted or whatever the situation might be. Well, consider what you've been able to get done in this state of angst and anxiety and stress and uncertainty and fear. Probably not much, other than maybe just talking about it to where you're just creating more and more and more of it, right? Remember, there's a couple of statements I always, concepts that I always share with you, and, that's the dominant thoughts rule your actions. So if your dominant thoughts are all negative and I can't and I won't be able to, whatever the case might be, that's going to be the result that you get, all right? So all I'm sharing with you is to make a commitment or choose to make a commitment to shift out of those state of being so you can find the solutions to your problems. So going back to the mortgage situation. So I was having this conversation with him. I'm like, what have you done? Have you been able to get, the forbearance or any of those other programs? I'm not an expert there, but any of those other programs. And he went on to say, no, I haven't even tried. And I'm like, well, why haven't you tried? He's like, well, and he went back into, all the anxiety that he was feeling and the depression and the therapy he's been getting, which is awesome. But it's like you being a gerbil on a wheel, and it's just you're going around and around and around in circles, and you're never finding a way off. And so all I would recommend is to find a place where you can recognize what you're dealing with, what you're feeling, what you're thinking, what you're saying, to yourself or externally. Get it down on paper, acknowledge it, and then decide that you're going to put that behind you, because you know that in order to solve these issues effectively, you're going to need to be very focused, very clear, very energized, very optimistic, very positive about the solution that's going to be coming your way. Okay, and that's the other thing about what you put out in the universe comes back to you. That's the other one of those three concepts I mentioned. What you put out in the universe, what comes back to you. So if you work your way into a state of calm, logic, unemotional, clear, focused, and then, you're all of a sudden able to sit down and say, okay, so, I haven't paid my mortgage, for instance. I might lose my house is the problem, right? And the reason is because I haven't paid my mortgage. Well, their solutions are, okay, I have to go and call my bank and talk to them, or whoever holds your mortgage, to talk to them. I have to, reach out to any of the, do work, homework on any of the government programs that are out there and see if I'm eligible, see if they're still available, see if there's something I can do. You can even be writing, and I shared this with him, you can even be writing your mortgage company, and I would take it all the way, and I'm serious about this, all the way to the CEO. And you could be writing and sharing your situation and asking for help there. You can even be writing your local government officials, your senators, your governors, your local representatives, to get them in your fold to help. But the point being is in order for you to be really able to be creative and think outside the box and think openly, you need to rid yourself. You need to shed all of that junk, what we call bitches here, all that fear, negativity, doubt, uncertainty. You need to get rid of it in order to then be, to move forward and be very optimistic about, whatever the situation is, it is. And yet, you might not want to hear about the answer or the solution, yet at the same time, what you're doing right now is not working for you. So letting go of 2020 is a matter of you just deciding that, yes, that was my world then, but I'm going to focus on my world and everything I can manage and control in my little, universe, and kind of not worry about what's going on around me. And there's things that you could do in regards to that too. Turning off the TV, turning off the, Twitter and Facebook and, media noise, whatever it is to kind of get you into a state of being now, being present, and working on what it is that you really want to be achieving. Okay? Excuse me. All right. So that was how do I just let go? So let's just take a look real quickly and see if there's anything happening over here. And I'm not sure why that is not allowing me to. Let me just do this real quick. Because I can see my.
Welcome to VoiceOver.
Oh. VoiceOver. Well, there you go. That's not what I wanted. Okay. So our next question. Excuse me for those of you listening versus viewing. Okay, our next question will take how to build a tribe or a network, because this is a great one for going into the new year and kind of considering your goals. Excuse me. So how to build a tribe or a network. Basically, this comes down to the fact that none of us deserve to go it alone. And you won't achieve what it is that you are working your butt off for by yourself. You need other people. All right? And this pertains to business owners or corporate professionals or stay-at-homes or whomever. Those retired. If you want to be accomplishing something, you need resources around you. And a part of those resources are people, let alone, technologies and apps and tools and all that kind of good stuff, money, capital. You need people to be, in your camp in order for you to kind of work on, let alone achieve your goals. All right. So when it comes to thinking about who should be in this tribe or this network, you can, start with, and I'm going to hope that you have your goals and that your goals are spelled out, if not in the SMART goal methodology framework, that we will be talking about in our upcoming 5-day free Goals to Riches Challenge that starts on the 18th. And you can go to goalstoriches.com to learn more about that. But if you at least have your goals that you're working to achieve, your goal is going to tell you what type of people that you may want to bring into your tribe and into your network. But let's break this down from business owners and then corporate professionals. So from a business owner perspective, I always say, excuse me, I always have my clients think about an org chart. What are all of the roles and responsibilities that you need to have as part of your business in order for you to be able to do the work that you do, all right? So if you think about a basic, normal org chart, you have someone that heads it up, often called the CEO. They might have an assistant or might not, but there's some sort of some sort of administrative assistant, work that's needed. And then you have sales, marketing, HR, legal, finance. If you're a product company, you might have product development, or, you might have manufacturing. You have IT in there because, with all the technologies that we have today, and it's probably one of the most frustrating areas for many business owners, and therefore you need them in your tribe. But, you can kind of look at it from a standard org chart. Now, some of the pluses that I would add to that org chart that are not on a typical standard org chart are things like a leadership or business coach or personal coach, life coach, however you want to define it. Someone that can be your sounding board, a mentor. They can be your accountability partner. So I would kind of add that as a plus to any org chart. And I tell my clients this all the time, and they obviously have one as part of their not only org chart but their tribe because they're working with me. So you have that. You might have advisors as a plus to your org chart. And these are people that you don't necessarily need to be in your business, you paying for them to do work for you, but you certainly have areas or skill sets that you're not fully developed or fully polished on. And therefore, having advisors to support you in your pursuit of your goals and in your growth and in your business is definitely a huge plus. And people would call them board of advisors even. And so that can even become kind of an org chart of its own of what are those areas that your business calls you to have and or you want to have in order to really augment and enrich the work that you're doing. So, for instance, real quickly, when I started writing my book back in 2010, and this can apply to the screenplay that I then later wrote later in like 2016, 17, and it continues, but that's another day. But so I'd never written a book before. I write a lot. I do a lot of journaling, but I've never edited a book. I've never written a book. I've never published a book. I've never marketed a book, so forth and so on. And therefore, there were certain roles that at some point I would need to, pay somebody for. So, for instance, editing, to edit the book, or to create the book cover, or to, help find the publisher. But even long before that I would need to start paying for them, I needed to understand those aspects of what I was getting into, even though they were going to be down the line. And therefore, I sought out advisors that, people that have been there and done that when it comes to writing and publishing books, and not only one, but multiple books. People that were there in regards to marketing, public relations, in script writing. That's a whole different medium. And therefore, I really needed to get some advisors around the film industry and, the structure in which you write a screenplay. And again, these are roles that I don't need to be paying for. I need more advisement because they're not necessarily going to be doing the work. They're just going to be advising me. Business owners, your advisors should really center around how do you build a business? How do you not only start it, but how do you manage and grow a business? And therefore, it could get into, different industry types of advisors or different aspects, functional areas of business. As a CEO, you're kind of responsible for everything, but you don't do everything, but you need to know a little bit about everything. And therefore, what advisors do you need to help you along the way? A big one is raising capital. Most business owners, they don't know how to seek out potential investors, and let alone pitch them, put it together a business plan, so forth and so on. So you just kind of decide within your goal, what are those type of individuals that will help you really learn what it is that you're doing and help you to enrich and build on and grow within that goal. And those would be the type of advisors you want in your tribe. So your tribes can be made up of individuals that are specific to what it is that you need to get done, and then these advisors that you kind of enrich yourself and make yourself more polished and more developed in your role and responsibilities. And then, like I mentioned, there could be coaches. You could even have a board of directors from a business perspective. You could have a board of directors. Now, this would really only go to those that are like C Corps and those that have a legal obligation to having a board of directors. But at the same time, small businesses that are taking in venture capital are often required to also develop a board of directors as well. Nonprofits have board of directors. So your tribe, you also want to ensure that you have those individuals in your tribe that are from your family, your friends, your social network, as well as business, that are going to motivate you, hold you accountable, be your champion, be a sponsor, be an advocate and a partner with you, if not legally as a partner in the business, so to speak, but a partner in just what it is that you're working on and doing. So your tribe can just, kind of build and build over time. And it's all centered around the goal of you not only achieving but exceeding your goals. Now, from a corporate professional perspective, I want to get to this too in our time together. From a corporate professional perspective, your tribe would make up as well who are those confidants, who are those mentors and coaches and guides and advisors, who are those sponsors within the company that can sponsor you as you work on your goal. And that could be a goal of advancement, that could be a goal of growth, across the business as opposed to just in a kind of a chain, a hierarchical chain, and many, many aspects. Find a sponsor and sponsors are known as individuals that will talk and promote you, meaning promote verbally, recommendations, referral to advancement, without you even, knowing that they're doing that. Now, you could have an official sponsor type of relationship with them, but oftentimes sponsors, you don't even know that they're advocating for you for advancement, for a new project, for a move, across the world, whatever the case might be. But they're there and they're your best, cheerleader and champion, so forth and so on. And then there's advocates. Those are the people that, you often know that they are out there advocating for you, that they are supporting your goals and your objectives, short-term and long-term, and they're there to kind of introduce you, proclaim your wonders, in front of people, whatever the case might be. So your tribe or network, you want to make up both personal and professional, peers, colleagues, senior managers, executive leaders. It could be vendors. It could be official partners of the organization. If you're doing work outside, the company, maybe on industry committees, industry boards, business boards, whatever the case might be, then you're adding more and more to that tribe or network that it will support you in your goals. And of course, there's family and friends, and there's those coaches and mentors and advisors that, would also be key to you being able to not only effectively pursue but achieve your goals, address issues, address challenges, proactively, consider what situations or risks you might be taking on, so forth and so on. And it is the beginning of the year. And so as you're looking at your goals, work on building that tribe and network. And why I stress that is many individuals will say to me, even like high senior level, corporate executives, let alone established business owners, and they'll say, well, who am I to ask them for their time, or who am I to ask them for that guidance, or who am I to ask them for that mentorship? And, I would say, one, that is a reflection on, your individual feeling of self-worth, and that you're worthy and deserving of support, and each and every one of us are. And so don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask these individuals. Let them know what it is that you're working on. Set the expectations of what it is that you might seek them out for, and just make it reasonable as far as what it is that they can do for you and how they can support you and what it is that you're pursuing out there. But don't hesitate to build that tribe and network. And, all anybody could say is, no, I'm not available. I don't have the time. And then you're just like, thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate that. Is there someone else I should be talking with? Is there someone else you would recommend that I, reach out to and talk with? Okay? So build that tribe and network. Again, you can't and don't deserve to go it alone. You need that support system. You need that foundation. You need that stability in knowing that you have someone to lean on when, you have a question, or you're dealing with a major situation, or you just want to update and you want somebody or a group of people to go and celebrate with, whatever the case might be. Okay? Excuse me. All right. I seem to have lipstick all over me. See, this is the problem of being on camera. You're always picking at yourself. Okay. All right. Kind of is a nice segue, actually. Didn't plan it this way. But so I was asked a couple of weeks ago, before we got into it, might have been even as part of our Goals to Riches Challenge in December, and I was asked about, if there were, one or two or three things that are key to my success, what would you say that they are? What should I really ensure I have in place and or I'm working on to put in place in order to ensure that I don't get to the end of this year and disappointed in what it was that I set out to do and what it was that I finally accomplished. And again, this is definitely going to be, and this is the foundation of what we're going to walk through in our Goals to Riches Challenge, which starts January 18th. And again, you can go to goalstoriches.com for more information about it. But I thought I would share with you, because again, we're at the beginning of the year, right? And even though our challenge will be just, a week and a half away on the 18th, I thought I'd pepper some things in here for you. So the first would be, you want to know where you're going. And so you want to have a vision for what you want this year to look like, and then how does that year of achievement kind of align and tie into your 3, 5, 10-year vision. So you want to kind of give yourself an opportunity to sit back and really kind of daydream and create a vision for yourself of what it is that you really want to be working on and achieving, and who, when, where, what, and how you're going to go about doing that. So you definitely want to sit down, take time on your vision. And then, of course, you want to ensure that you have goals. And we're not going to get into all of that, because that's typically a session all on its own, or an episode all of its own. But you want to ensure that you've taken that vision and you've kind of taken it apart to establish what goals then you want to be pursuing in order to see this vision come to fruition, okay? So vision, you want your goals, and of course, in order to go and pursue and achieve those goals, you need to have a very specific, detailed, actionable plan that you're working against each and every day, each and every week, month, quarter, mid-year and the end of the year. You certainly don't want to all of a sudden get to October, November, December, and you didn't do the work necessary in order to achieve any one or two or three of those goals, and therefore you're finding yourself on the short end, and you might be saying, again, here I am again, and I didn't, have that plan in place that would give me that focus, clarity, energy, determination, persistence that's needed, and that mindset that is needed. And that would be the fourth key to your success. When someone asks me, because they do, so I won't say if someone asks me, when someone asks me, what is the biggest factor or contributor to my success or misstep? I don't like the word failure. Success or misstep, what would you say it is? I would say it's you're not devoting enough time and energy and focus on your mindset, on what it is you're thinking, feeling, believing, behaving, what words you're using, just what is going on in between your two ears that is creating whatever actions or lack thereof that you're taking. And so for those of you who've been part of the Shedding the Bitch community or the Shift to Riches community, Ball of Fire coaching, everything that makes up what we do here, you know that I always challenge the paradigm, especially to those corporate professionals more so than the business owners, and I'll explain why that is in a second. But I say to them that I challenge you that it's not your skill set / extensive resume that is going to help you get where you're going or help you achieve your goals. It has nothing to do with your skill set, because it has everything to do with your mindset. Because if your mindset's not right, the best education, the best experience, the best expertise, the best looking wardrobe, the best looking website, is not going to get you where you're going. It's not going to get you where you're going. It's not going to get you what you want. It's not going to get you anything. You have to have that very empowered, bold, ambitious, which is a good word, by the way, risk-oriented, strong, authentic, self-aware mindset in order for you then to be able to leverage, optimize, and exploit all of those skills that you have, all of that experience, all of those, that expertise, all of that resume that you have. Because many of you, I'm sure you can relate to the fact that you have family, friends, or celebrities, or other people that they lack education, they lack experience, they lack expertise, but they're very successful. They've achieved what they want because they have this very optimistic and positive and motivational and determined and persistent mindset that it doesn't matter to them if they're not skilled enough, if they're not educated enough, if they're not experienced enough to take on something. They just know, they're confident, and they're just determined and optimistic that whatever it is that they want to take on, they're going to achieve it. But you probably also know those people, too, that have all the money in the world. They have all the resources around them. They have all the opportunities and possibilities for great education, great experience, the best job, the best house, and yet they haven't achieved what it is that they want. They're unhappy. Some of them are miserable, and they're just not fulfilled in any way, shape, or form. It has nothing to do with the fact that they have that nice long resume. It has everything to do with what they're thinking, how they're believing, how they're feeling, how they're acting and behaving. It has everything to do with their mindset. So my challenge to you is for this year is to heavily, heavily, heavily focus, whether that's through reading, prayer, meditation, affirmations, whether that's through classes, coaches, programs, whatever it is that will help you address where your current state of where you're at, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and work to shift, what we call here, shift to riches of happiness and joy and contentment and confidence and feelings of high self-worth and high self-esteem and empowerment, all those wonderful, juicy words. That is what I would wish for you this year to put as a big goal and objective for yourself. All right? So those are the 4 keys to success. And then lastly, as I just to verify if anyone has reached out. I don't know why I keep losing this page on me. And then lastly, I wanted to just briefly mention, won't get into it, don't have time, but wanted to mention one of the biggest questions I've been getting lately, because I offer I have a show. It's called the Biz Snap Show, and SNAP is referred to the Snappy Networking Accelerator Pitch. So, whether you're in corporate or you're a business owner, you are always snapping somebody about something. Who are you? What do you do? How do you serve others? Business owners are very familiar with the 30-second elevator pitch, the 1-minute elevator pitch, so forth and so on. Corporate professionals have been learning it too over the last 3 to 5 years as a way of building their personal brand. So I had started and have developed a show, an interview show called the Biz Snap Show. And basically it's a 15-minute snappy interview about who you are, your business, your clients, your products and services, what you do and how you serve, and what the ultimate impact or value is that you provide your customers. And again, whether that's business owners or corporate corporate professionals. And yet, where I would expect every business owner, especially business owner, to raise their hand and say, yes, I would love a 15-minute interview on camera and audio that I can use as marketing material for my prospects, for my clients, for my vendors, for my partners, for my affiliates. And it's free. It doesn't cost me a dime for this great content. Then yes, I'm all in. Well, I started talking to people about 2 months ago, and we've had some great guests and great business owners come onto the program. You can go to balloffirecoaching.com to see those interviews. But I started asking some folks, especially those that are on this public community that I'm a part of, and they were like, well, I'm really not comfortable. I really don't know if I'm ready. I'm not, kind of camera efficient, so forth and so on. And one, I kind of take that for granted a lot because it's just always come easy for me to do this. Whether or not I look good and all that kind of stuff, I don't know. But turning on a camera, and starting to talk is not a hardship for me. But I do understand it is for other people. So that all said, so on Thursday, we in our Shift to Riches private Facebook group, which you're more than welcome to join. Would love for you to. We have Ignite training sessions live every Thursday at 1:00, and we cover topics across the board when it comes to women and the work and life issues that they're dealing with. And very much like this situation, my community gives me the topics based on something that they're dealing with. And that's what I'll then turn into a Ignite training session. So this Thursday at 1 o'clock on our Shift to Riches private Facebook group, all you have to do is look on Facebook and search Shift to Riches. We will be doing a training on how to shine on camera on an interview. Because I want to be able to showcase. The purpose of the Biz Snap Show is to showcase business owners and their businesses so they thrive today, tomorrow, and in the future. And I want to just, have as many, of those interviews going as possible. And I don't want you to have the excuse, because that's what it is, excuse, that, well, you're not comfortable, you don't know how, you're not sure if you're prepared or you're ready, so forth and so on. Let's have a conversation about it. And let me share with you my years of experience of interviewing individuals. And I'll be, straight up as far as what works, what doesn't, and how simple and easy and fun it can be, and how powerful it can be having that piece of content that you could be using across your social networks. All right? So that'll be Thursday at 1 o'clock on our Shift to Riches Facebook group page. So just be sure to join in, become a community member, introduce yourself, share what it is, that you're working on, and I'd love to see you there, and then join in on our live training on Thursday at 1 p.m. Okay? All right. Well, for today, that is our Shedding the Bitch Ask Me Anything episode. And I thank you very, very much for watching or listening live and or in replay. And again, we would love your feedback, your input, your recommendations, your ratings, your comments, so we can continue to bring you valuable content around how you could be creating riches in your work and life. All right? Until next Tuesday at noon Eastern Time, thank you very much. Have a rich and prosperous week, and we'll talk to you then. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for listening to Shedding the Bitch Radio with Bernadette Boas. Join Bernadette every Tuesday at noon Eastern as she helps you shift your bitches to riches. And the dialogue is always going on at sheddingthebitch.com. See you next week.